Ashley Victoria Robinson, your video producer and host here in the Popverse, a virtual realm created by Read Pop, where we are celebrating the best in TV, movies, and comics each and every single day. Don't forget, if you want more videos, more articles, polls, and so much more, can I say more one more time, that you can always visit thepopverse.com. Okay, here's something that I know about you, my Popversian watcher. You love the MCU. It is a hashtag science fact. This year, tragically, we are only getting one offering from the MCU, and that is Deadpool and Wolverine from the movie universe that popularized a shared universe on the big screen. In celebration of the MCU, welcome to our ultimate guide to how to watch the Marvel Cinematic Universe in order. The MCU is expansive, it's beloved, and it has captured the attention of nerds for over a decade. To help you, I am breaking down how to watch the Marvel Cinematic Universe in both release and chronological order. Whether you want to experience the saga as it unfolded in cinemas or delve into the chronological timeline of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we've got your viewing preferences covered. Let's kick things off by exploring how to watch the MCU in release order. The journey begins with the groundbreaking Iron Man in 2008 and takes us through the epic ride of origin stories, team-ups, and universe-altering events that have shaped the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You're gonna start with Iron Man from May of 2008, The Incredible Hulk, June 2008, Iron Man 2, April 2010, Thor, April 2011. Let's start talking about one of my favorites. Let's talk about Kenneth Branagh's Thor, Thor 1.
I'm very, very curious. Why is that one of your favorites?
I love Thor 1 for so many reasons, only some of which I will publicly share. The main reason is because Thor 1, in my opinion, is the only Thor movie that actually feels mythological and theatrical. And I think that is because Kenneth Branagh was the director and he comes from the proud Shakespearean Globe RSC tradition.
Oh yeah, sure. It's theater, darling.
Yes, very much so, which I love personally. It's just very much to my taste in a lot of ways. I think a huge part of what resonates about that with me is the performance that we're getting from Tom Hiddleston. This was before we knew that everybody wanted to bow before Loki and Loki became a meme.
Yeah.
So the Loki arc is just a sad little boy who wants his daddy to love him. It's the same reason Theon Greyjoy is my favorite Game of Thrones character, and I will die on that hill.
Like, the first Thor is such a wonderful sort of removed from everything else that came afterwards movie. You actually have a character arc that, for multiple characters, that starts, continues and ends. It feels so separated from what the film became, what the characters became.
I would also argue it's the only movie Chris Hemsworth has or possibly will ever act in.
He's definitely trying harder in this movie than he is in, for example, Love and Thunder. I think that's fair to say.
And I guess it is. I was gonna say it's not that I don't love comedy. I guess it is that I don't love comedy. And I think there are a lot of great jokes in the first Thor movie, like bring me a horse or a dog big enough to ride, smashing the cup, the Donald Blake Easter egg in Thor's little ID. I think all of that is very funny, but it's not overwhelmed by comedy. And I think as a reaction to Dark World, which I completely understand, we went so hard the other way. And I want my Thor to feel a little more like he might be a Viking who could kill me and a little less like he's a drunk man who lives downstairs from me right now.
Well, what's really funny is the first Thor gets the balance right. And I think immediately with the second film, they were like, oh, but let's lean into Game of Thrones. Let's lean into not the British theatricalness that you're talking about, but the mythological as evidenced by other mythological things element, and that didn't work. And then they were like, well, let's go entirely the opposite direction.
Yeah, I mean,
Thor's the one that gets it right.
Thor was, of phase 1, Thor was my favorite of all of the movies. Upon reflection, I think I respectfully give it to the first Avenger, but when I was seeing it the first time, Thor was my favorite.
Thor does have the Destroyer as well, and I love the Destroyer in that film so much.
And he looks great. He looks genuinely great.
It's so wonderful, right? They just the way that character looks in that film is so good. Yeah.
So much so that they lift a lot of the similar designs and the angles of shooting when we get to the Kryptonians showing up in Smallville in Man of Steel. Okay, but we
lift from the best? Question mark.
Yes, I'm gonna say so since it's one of my picks. Captain America, the First Avenger from July of 2011. But we alluded to First Avenger, and I know you love the First Avenger, so let's talk about Captain America, the First Avenger, aka Captain America #1.
I think Captain America, the First Avenger is a ridiculous title, but B, I think that's my favorite of the Phase 1 films.
Tell me why.
It's so... This is not why it's my favorite. I do love that it's so different from every other Marvel film and every other Captain America film. Entirely. Yeah. It feels much more in tone with Rocketeer, which makes sense. It's made by the same man who did Rocketeer. But it feels in keeping with Marvel comics and Captain America comics in particular. There is some wonderful mix of patriotism that isn't really patriotism, but like performative patriotism.
Yeah.
That is really charming for me. Like, you know, as an immigrant to America, there is something about that stuff. You're like, me too, friend.
Wait. Do you still have the little American flag that they gave you when you became a citizen?
Of course I do.
Mine's like in the next room.
But there is something about that stuff that does resonate with me in a way that it doesn't resonate with A, people who were actually born here, or B, people who did not choose to live here. You know? There is something about that kind of patriotism that is disconnected from the reality, but almost aspirational, that I do really, really find myself, you know, gravitating towards. And also, Chris Evans is just really good in that film.
Bro, Chris Evans, the Chris Evans, Lucas Lee to Captain America pipeline is very similar to the Hemsworth as George Kirk to Thor pipeline, where you're like, the jerk from Scott Pilgrim is going to be Captain America? Yeah, freaking right. And then in First Avenger, they dared to do the only reference to the storyline that Steve Rogers is a comic book artist that we ever get in the entire MCU. It's adorable. You play him against Sebastian Stan, who they wanted to play Captain America, but wasn't born in America. So they said, you're not good enough for that. But they play really well. Like the Steve Bucky friendship is so clear from jump. And even if you don't know what happens and you don't know that they're seeding Winter Soldier, Bucky throughout the movie is fantastic. The Howling Commandos are fantastic. Neil McDonough's there. Like,
Haley Atwell as well, though. Like, you know, there is something.
And Natalie Dormer, who wasted in this movie.
But there's so many. There's so many people in this film. It feels like an all-star film, even though at the time none of those people were stars.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they all have such presence, and they're all presented in such a way that you're like, I can't believe it's the Howling Commandos, and you know, 95% of the people watching it do not know who the Howling Commandos are, but they feel it when they show up. No, I think it's just a great superhero film. I think it's a wonderful film.
And they don't know that 15 years later, they're gonna love that guy from the Howling Commandos in Shogun.
Who did though? Come on.
I mean, I could have never hoped and dreamed, but I thank you, TV gods. Thank you, Loki, for Shogun. What a great show. Not a Marvel show, but a recommendation. The consultant one-shot on the Thor DVD. Yes, remember physical media? September 2011. A funny thing happened on the way to Thor's hammer. One shot on the Captain America, the First Avenger DVD. Yeah, still remember physical media? From October of 2011. Then it's the Avengers, aka Avengers Assemble in some international markets, April 2012. Follow up the Avengers with Item 47, one shot from the Avengers/Avengers Assemble DVD, September of 2012. Then it's Iron Man 3 from April of 2013. Okay, another favorite that you brought up is Iron Man 3.
Yes,
and you're the only human person I've ever heard say
really?
Tell me, yeah.
I think Iron Man 3 is the best Iron Man films. I really like the Iron Man films.
And you do famously love a Christmas movie.
I do famously love a Christmas movie. I famously love a Shane Black movie as well.
Yeah.
And this is the most Shane Black, I mean, obviously the most Shane Black Marvel movie, but it's also a Marvel movie that feels like, even by the time Iron Man 3 came out, which was what, Phase 2?
Yeah.
You could tell the trademark Marvel moments.
That like clean sheen look that it had, and the style and the storytelling and the beats, very much so.
And there's something about Iron Man 3 that resists those and is much messier and is much more personal.
Yeah.
And also, as a final act of a trilogy, Iron Man 3 blatantly just rejects any closure, which I love. It just says, no, I'm going to tell this other story. And this other story is, the Avengers really messed this guy up. And so let's just tell a story about how absolutely screwed up he is. And it almost rejects the rest of the Marvel
Mm-hmm.
the Marvel universe. The MCU. I mean, he quits as Iron Man by the end of the
Yeah.
film. I mean, they have to walk that back immediately, but
well, they're setting him up to become the MCU's greatest villain. So
right, and so you just get this other film that is again far messier and far more individual and far more, you know, I can't even say author because it's not even written by Shane Black. I think it's written by Drew Pearce, who
I believe so.
Who did The Fall Guy just recently, and I love Drew Pearce's stuff a lot. But it feels very much like a film that wants to be something other than a Marvel Studios film.
Yeah.
And I think Marvel films are great when they forget that they're Marvel Studios films.
Do you think it's a mistake to not make the young man in that, to not have that have been Amadeus Cho?
I mean,
because I do.
Honestly, no, because I think if it did, it would feel more Marvel. Does that make sense?
Interesting.
Like one of the problems I have, especially with sort of later period Marvel Studios, is everything's an Easter egg.
Yes.
Literally everything's an Easter egg. You know, down to they're having a particular brand of breakfast cereal, and it will be an Easter egg for something.
Don't talk about Loki like that. We're not there yet.
No, but for real, like there is a problem where like everything is meant to be a reference, and everything, like you were saying about Agent Carter, everything is noted to death, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm glad it's not Amadeus Cho, if only because it gets to be this own thing where you don't get people like you and me who know this stuff far too well, or going, well, that's Amadeus Cho, he's going to grow up and become Hulk, just wait, and he's got a little dog.
He's the smartest guy in the Marvel.
Yeah, no, exactly, right? You're allowed to just be like, well, how, you know, they're kind of ripping off Amadeus Cho, but I don't know where they're going with this.
Yeah, and me being like, Hercules is going to show up in this movie, right? Hercules is going to show up in this movie, right? Hercules is going to show up in this movie, right?
And then by the time he finally does, you're like, that's Hercules? Really?
The fact that, I'm sorry, love Brett Goldstein, but the fact that Hercules was not played by John Gabris is a mistake.
I love Brett Goldstein a lot, and the idea that he's Hercules is wild to me.
Yeah, I agree. The Agent Carter one-shot on the Iron Man 3 DVD, September of 2013. Okay, you opened the Haley Atwell door. I think we're already going out of order, but one of my favorites as well is the Captain Carter short. So back when physical media was still a thing that we respected because Disney didn't own a streaming service, we used to get these fun little shorts that came on Blu-rays or DVDs, however you were kind of getting your media. And they had this Captain Carter short that was basically like, we love Pillars of the Earth's own Haley Atwell. What if she was James Bond? And they gave us the most incredible 7 minutes of her we've ever seen.
Yes. And like, what were they called? Marvel one-shots? Was that what they're called?
Something like that, yeah.
I loved the shorts as well. I really did. Because they felt fun in a way that the films are fun as well, but there's something about this, like, really short ones. There's a great Justin Hammer one.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. But they feel playful in a way that the other ones, you know, the full-length movies and TV shows feel like they have a purpose. And sometimes the shorts are just like, this is great, and the Agent Carter thing is completely great because it's like, what if she was just great? What if she was just doing her job and really good at it? And by the way, you love her, and by the end of it, you're like, I do love her. She's great. I love this.
I saw Haley Atwell once at the breakfast buffet at the Marriott at San Diego Comic-Con, and she was as incredible in person as she is in the short. The shot that lives forever in my brain is when she opens the compact and uses it to watch the agents coming up behind her. And this short was the impetus for the Agent Carter show. I watched every single episode of the Agent Carter show and enjoyed very much of it, honestly, but it so clearly illustrates to me why making things in a vacuum where executives and studios and people in charge of money leave you alone, and what you can do under those circumstances versus when something gets noted to death. Because as much as I love the Agent Carter show, I don't think it ever lives up to what this short gave us, unfortunately.
No, but for the reason you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Again, by the time the Agent Carter show came about, it had a purpose. It was like, well, we're seeding this, we're making sure this is going to get laid in place, we're making sure this is going to get laid in place, and you felt that. Whereas the short is just, she's wonderful. Just let her be wonderful.
Have you seen Haley Atwell?
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1, September 2013 to May 2014. Thor: The Dark World, November 2013. All Hail the King one-shot on the Thor: The Dark World DVD, February 2014. Captain America: The Winter Soldier, March 2014. By the way, I have a pet theory that the success of The Winter Soldier is one of the reasons why we are getting these movies earlier and earlier in the years. It started with Winter Soldier and then Deadpool picked it up from here. Guardians of the Galaxy, July 2014. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2, September 2014 to May 2015. Agent Carter Season 1, January 2015 to February 2015. Daredevil Season 1, April 2015. Avengers Age of Ultron, also April 2015. Ant-Man, July 2015. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3, September 2015 to May 2016. Jessica Jones Season 1, November 2015. Agent Carter Season 2, January 2016 to February 2016. Daredevil Season 2, March 2016. Captain America Civil War, April 2016. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4, September 2016 to May 2017. Luke Cage Season 1, September 2016. Doctor Strange, October 2016. Iron Fist Season 1, March 2017. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, April 2017. Spider-Man Homecoming, July 2017. The Defenders Season 1, August 2017. Inhumans Season 1. Remember Inhumans? September 2017 to November 2017. Thor Ragnarok, October 2017. The Punisher Season 1, November 2017. Runaways Season 1, also November 2017 to January 2018. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5, December 2017 to May 2018. Black Panther, February 2018. Jessica Jones Season 2, March 2018. Avengers Infinity War, April 2018. Cloak and Dagger Season 1, June 2018 to August 2018. Luke Cage Season 2, June 2018. Ant-Man and the Wasp, July 2018. Iron Fist Season 2, September 2018. Daredevil Season 3, October 2018. Runaways Season 2, December 2018. The Punisher Season 2, January 2019. Captain Marvel, March 2019. Cloak and Dagger Season 2, April 2019 to May 2019. Avengers Endgame, also April 2019. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 6, May 2019 to August 2019. Jessica Jones Season 3, June 2019. Spider-Man Far From Home, July 2019. Runaways Season 3, December 2019. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7, May 2020 to August 2020. Hellstrom, October 2020. WandaVision, January 2021 to March 2021. The Falcon of the Winter Soldier, also March 2021 to April 2021. Loki, June 2021 to July 2021. Okay, I joked about Loki, but we also want to talk about Loki. Graham, why do you love Tom Hiddleston so much? We went from Thor, now we're at the other end of the spectrum.
Why do I love Tom Hiddleston so much? I have this weird love-hate relationship with Loki, the TV show.
I think that's correct.
In that I thought that I didn't like it, and then by the time it ended, I thought, I really, really appreciate the way this story's gone.
It also illustrates for you how people learn how to use the volume, because I think it's the 4th episode of the first season where it's just Loki and Sylvie walking back and forth on the 100 meters of the volume like it's an early episode of Doctor Who. And then by the end of it, slight spoiler if you haven't seen the end of Loki, he's the world tree.
No, but there is something. Again, it's all set up for other things, right?
Yeah.
All the Kang stuff, all the Victor Timely stuff, even Loki ending up as a world tree in the end of the season. You feel it's all set up for Avengers 6 or whatever it's going to be called. I would love if it's not. I would love if that's the end, because again, there's a character arc there. I know. But there's a character arc there that actually has a resolution.
Yeah.
You know, and the best part is you can tell the writers knew that, because the last episode is the same title as the first episode.
Yep.
And there are so many direct callbacks to he has learned his lesson.
Mm-hmm.
And it's again, there's so many things that are bad about that show.
Yeah.
There really are. And the second season is so poorly paced and has so many narrative dead ends. But by the time you get to the end of that final episode, I found myself surprisingly moved by it. And I'm really feeling like I had gone on a worthwhile journey, not just a journey.
It's so funny, the way you are talking about this feels like the way I feel about the final season of Game of Thrones. where I'm like, if you read the book, you know that the first title point of view character is this person who is mirrored in this moment. And yes, it's poorly paced, but it's so sad to think about it.
We are nerds.
Do you think we're gonna get another season of Loki? We know nothing at the time of this recording.
No,
but...
never. I don't think we're going to get another season. I think he's going to come back at the end of Avengers 6 for real.
Okay.
Because again,
for real.
It's set up that way.
Yeah.
Right? Like he is he's the Chekhov's gun of the MCU right now.
Yeah.
If they're going to do away with the multiverse, which they probably are.
Yeah, because it's too untenable.
Yeah, and you have to do something with Loki in that case. So it might just be he comes back and he's like, "Oh, I'm tired. I'm going to go and sleep." Which, to be fair, imagine the screams in the audience in the theater.
He goes into the Odin sleep, like...
Yeah, just for Tom Hiddleston to walk on for 2 seconds and say, "I'm tired, I'm gonna get some sleep." Everyone would lose their minds.
Respectfully, Marvel is not that good.
Call me Marvel.
Yeah.
We can make this happen.
Black Widow, also July 2021. What If, Season 1, August 2021 to October 2021. The last thing I want to talk about is the What If television show. But I only want to talk about one episode of the What If television show.
Oh, wow. Which episode?
I think there's one episode of the What If television show that deserves to have been its own movie. I think it is so good. It's What If Doctor Strange Lost His Heart.
Really?
That movie should have been the second Doctor Strange movie. It is so good. It is so beautiful. It's a complete arc. You really, even though Benedict Cumberbatch only does the voice, you really get to see a lot of range from him in my favorite New York accent of all time that we don't traditionally get to see from him playing Doctor Strange. And let me tell you, my friends, if you enjoy it with your intoxicant of choice, you will be weeping by the end of it. And I think What If has never been better. I think it's the second episode. What If has never, ever been better than What If Doctor Strange Lost His Heart.
Okay, I have to ask, because you watched the rest of the series, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about the fact that, like, they didn't let it end there?
Oh, I mean, again, that's a travesty, and I think this has kind of been a running thread of our commentary is the things that we've liked are complete arcs, whether or not the characters carried on or not.
That we like have endings.
Yes, and they have sort of a definitive 5-act structure, a beginning, middle, and end, and I think that is one of the cardinal sins of the Marvel Cinematic Universe as it currently stands. We'll talk a little bit about where it might be going. Is that nothing can end. And that is also the cardinal sin of comic books, so perhaps it was an inevitability. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, September 2021. Eternals, November 2021. Hawkeye, November 2021 to December 2021. Spider-Man No Way Home, also December 2021. Moon Knight, March 2022 to May 2022. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, also May 2022. Miss Marvel, June 2022 to July 2022. What's important about this era of Marvel is this is also when Popverse exists at the same time. Thor, Love and Thunder, also July 2022. I Am Groot, Season 1, August 2022. She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, also August 2022 to October 2022. Werewolf by Night, also October 2022. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, November 2022. The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, November 2022. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, February 2023. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, May 2023. Secret Invasion, June 2023 to July 2023. Fun fact, if you want kind of an ongoing review of Secret Invasion, go back and watch the OG episodes of Enter the Popverse. We had to check in with Graeme McMillain every single week because he was the person who was watching it. I Am Groot Season 2, September 2023. Loki Season 2, October 2023 to November 2023. The Marvels, November 2023. What If Season 2, December 2023. Echo, January 2024. X-Men 97, March 2024. And Deadpool and Wolverine, July 2024, coming up so soon. Now, if you're eager to explore the MCU's timeline beginning in the 1940s going all the way up to the modern day, watch the films and series in chronological order. It's the perfect way to unravel the interconnected narrative of the Marvel Universe. follow these instructions. Start with Captain America, the First Avenger. Then Agent Carter, the one-shot on the Iron Man 3 DVD. Agent Carter Season 1. Agent Carter Season 2. Captain Marvel, the mid-credit scene set after Infinity War. X-Men 97 Season 1. Iron Man 2. The Incredible Hulk, The Consultant, that's the one-shot on the Thor DVD. A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to Thor's Hammer, the one-shot on the Captain America, the First Avengers DVD. Thor, The Avengers, aka Avengers Assembles in some regions. Item 47, the one-shot on the Avengers Assemble, as it's called in some regions, DVD. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1, episodes 1 through 7 specifically. Thor the Dark World, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1, episodes 8 through 16. Iron Man 3, All Hail the King, the one-shot on the Thor the Dark World DVD. Captain America the Winter Soldier. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1, episodes 17 through 22. Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I Am Groot Season 1, I Am Groot Season 2. Daredevil Season 1. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2, episodes 1 through 10. Jessica Jones Season 1. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2, episodes 11 through 19. Avengers Age of Ultron. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2, episodes 20 and 21 and 22. Daredevil Season 2, episodes 1 through 4. Luke Cage Season 1, episodes 1 through 4. Daredevil Season 2, episodes 5 through 11. Luke Cage Season 1, episodes 5 through 8. Daredevil Season 2, episodes 12 and 13. Luke Cage Season 1, episodes 9 through 13. Ant-Man. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3, episodes 1 through 10. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3, episodes 1 through 19. You might think this is arbitrary, but they're two different story arcs, which is why I'm sort of breaking them up this way. Iron Fist Season 1, Captain America Civil War, Black Widow, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3, episodes 20 through 22. The Defenders Season 1, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4, episodes 1 through 6. Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4, episodes 7 and 8. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Slingshot, Season 1, episodes 1 through 6. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Regular Recipe, Season 4, episodes 9 through 22, long stretch. Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, Inhumans Season 1, The Punisher Season 1, Runaways Season 1, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5, episodes 1 through 10. Jessica Jones Season 2, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5, episodes 11 through 18. Cloak and Dagger Season 1, Cloak and Dagger Season 2, Luke Cage Season 2, Iron Fist Season 2, Daredevil Season 3, Runaways Season 2, The Punisher Season 2, Jessica Jones Season 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Avengers Infinity War. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5, episodes 19 through 22 run concurrent to Infinity War. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 6, this takes place during the 5-year jump that happens in Endgame. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7, this also takes place during the 5-year gap that happens at Endgame. Runaways Season 3, not explicitly said, but seems to mostly take place post-snap. Avengers Endgame. Loki Season 1, it's also like Doctor Who, timey-wimey, you know? Loki Season 2, What If Season 1, What If Season 2, WandaVision, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Eternals, Spider-Man Far From Home, Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Echo, She-Hulk Attorney at Law, Miss Marvel, Thor Love and Thunder, Werewolf by Night, The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Secret Invasion, and The Marvels. Then you can figure out after you've seen Deadpool and Wolverine where Deadpool and Wolverine goes. Before you embark on your MCU binge-worthy marathon, we would also like to share some tips and tricks that we think would be the best resources and ideas for how to do so, whether it is Disney Plus, other streaming platforms, purchasing the movies, and engaging in all of these physical media jokes to ensure that you have all the best resources at your fingertips. So please join me in putting your hands together in the traditional theater kid Popverse round of applause to welcome Graeme McMillain back to share his expertise about how to watch the MCU. I don't know.
The problems with Marvel now, insofar as Marvel has problems, right?
Yeah.
The problems with Marvel now is the problems of comics. It's the problems of superhero comics, which is nothing ever really ends.
Yeah.
I've turned into Dr. Manhattan and Watchmen. Nothing ever really ends.
I don't want to be on this planet anymore.
but that's the problem that you don't get to actually. I mean, as we're recording this, Avengers 5 is some distance away, but people are already going,
Yeah.
well, what if Robert Downey Jr. comes back as Iron Man? I get it, but also let's not.
He will.
Let's. I don't know. He probably will. But wouldn't it be great if he didn't?
Yes.
If that was allowed to end, wouldn't it be great if we were allowed to say goodbye to these characters and it stuck?
Yeah.
And I think that, because again, the things that you and I are enjoying are the endings, are the fact that these stories have a meaning because they come to a conclusion. And superhero comics don't get to end, but have worked out a way to have story arcs end and then move on.
Yes. How do you feel about where Marvel is right now? Because at the time we're recording this, we're getting one MCU movie this year. Mm-hmm. And then
I think that's probably really healthy for everyone, apart from Disney's bottom line.
I don't know, if you look at them projections, they might be okay.
Oh wow, the projections for Wolverine and Deadpool. Everyone, we're recording this a month before it comes out, and the projections for that film are wild. That's going to be a very successful film. And I think it will be overall. I think Bob Iger's right. I think it'll be overall healthy for Marvel to put out less material, to not exhaust the audience so much, but also to be able to pay more attention to what it's doing. Yeah. Because I look back at things like, you don't want to say mean things about people's work.
Of course not. And nobody sets out to make anything that's unsatisfying, makes you unhappy, or might even be bad.
But you look at something like Secret Invasion, which, as someone who watched every episode of that show, there are moments where it feels like no one making it was quite sure what they were doing. Yeah. And was quite sure why they were doing it. Yeah. And I think that really is a problem, especially with sort of, shall we say, mid to late period Marvel. Yeah. Where everything is meant to tie into something else, but so many things are happening at the same time that, Doctor Strange 2 and WandaVision are a great example of this. Yeah. When they were shot, they were going to be released in a different order. And then they had to change the ending of one of them because they were coming out separately.
There's also a character who debuts in Doctor Strange who was supposed to debut at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home, but then when they brought on the other two Spider-Man actors, they bumped her over to Doctor Strange.
Exactly. And so that's a real problem, because you're literally making things where in the editing room, you can literally remove a character. Yeah. And say, that's okay, we'll just push them to another project. And that doesn't make for good storytelling. Mm-hmm. That's if your characters are plug and play, you're not paying enough attention to your characters, and ultimately that's what we as fans and audience are responding to.
Do you think there's ever a chance that the MCU can get back to the zenith that it was at the beginning of Phase 2, like before Age of Ultron came out, and we were all like, "Oh no, is this a bad taste in my mouth?" for kind of the first time, or do you think we're past that and the MCU is going to have to evolve into something else?
I think both are true. Right, I think both are possible. I think the only way it can achieve that zenith, I will say, because I don't come from the Canadas where we say zenith, but I think the only way it can do that is by evolving into something else. Yeah, I think the idea that we are chased back to past glories and just try and replicate them is never going to work. But I do think that if they do something different, they can get everyone as excited again. Sure.
So Graham, if people are watching this, there's a chance they're watching it because they have never watched the full MCU and all of its breadth and width. We have recommended them both watching them in release order and watching them chronologically. Which school of thought do you prefer? What is your recommendation for anybody watching who wants to do the big watch through for the first time?
I'm always release order.
Me too!
I am always release orders. Watch it in the way that everyone else saw it the first time. And that way, when you get to the retcons and you get to the flashbacks, they make more sense. Honestly, than if you watch it in chronological order and you're like, but who is that? Why is that important? Am I gonna have to remember that? It also kind of spoils things when you see things that are setups for later/earlier projects out of order.
And that way you don't have to pause like 27 minutes into an opening scene of a movie that then flashes forward to modern day.
That would be amazing, though.
We do recommend that. So if you do it, God bless you, and let us know in the comment section, because it couldn't be me and it couldn't be Graham.
Disney Plus lets you do lots of things, so why not?
Graham, can you let everybody know where they can find you online and where they can harangue you about your MCU takes?
Yeah, I'm on Popverse. I'm on thepopverse.com. I'm on what used to be Twitter and is now X, at Graeme M, at GRAEMEM.
Always Twitter. Will be Twitter till the end of all things.
I know. Well, it's now officially X. And I'm on Blue Sky with the same username.
Yay! Thank you, Graham!
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey through the Marvel Cinematic Universe, complete, asterisk, as of the time of this recording. Remember, whether you are watching in chronological order or release order, the Marvel Cinematic Universe promises thrilling adventures in every single way around every single corner. If you want more on the MCU, if you want more on Marvel in general, if you want more on anything MCU adjacent, please make sure that you are visiting thepopverse.com, where we are celebrating the best in TV, movies, and comics. The MCU encompasses all of these each and every single day. I have been your video host and producer, Ashley Victoria Robinson, coming to you from Avengers Tower. And I will see you next time. Popverse assemble!